Hey Capricorns, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're going to be taking a look at your August through September, your Lammas through Mabon seasonal reading here. So, in your meditation, the first thing that's coming across for you is the energies are a bit rickety, a bit cattywampus. Okay, I'm sure you feel it. They're a bit all over the place. It's like those staircases in Harry Potter that keep moving on you, and I feel like that's beautifully representative of your experience, where you're on a staircase and then it shifts. And it's like, wait, I thought I was going, wait a minute. I'm just trying to get my bearings. It's that kind of energy. So I saw the image of a mouse, a very tiny little dormouse wearing cute little spectacles in a library. And it was reaching for a book. But the book was so big that it fell down and it just landed with a thud, almost crushed the mouse. But it just found that it was a little bit overwhelmed. And then this kingfisher bird, which was like a mega huge giant kingfisher compared to this tiny little dormouse, came and swept up the mouse so it wouldn't get crushed by these books that were starting to fall off the shelves, and lifted it onto the top of like a staircase where the mouse was trying to move and move ahead, but it just wasn't going to get anywhere. It was not working in its environment. So the kingfisher was like, you rest here. I got us. And I saw it put this little umbrella over the mouse. And then this huge waterfall came down, but the kingfisher, representing the Ace of Cups like it does, was perfectly fine within this waterfall. And the mouse was covered. So let's just talk a little bit about that symbolism here. Mouse energy is two of pentacles energy. It's about juggling. It's about juggling your personal life, your work life, feeling as though you are trying to call into balance certain aspects of your experience, right? It could be a bit intense though, for sure. And then if you think about when you juggle, you don't have a hand free. So if anything else comes up, it could feel a bit overwhelming or like a little bit too much, right? Or I'm going to drop the ball, right? Kingfisher energy, it is a bird, but it's I kind of was seeing it go in between like a kingfisher and a swordfish with that pointed nose, right? It's a water energy because it is Ace of Cups, which is about intuition, self-love, feeling things intensely and deeply, but not feeling overwhelmed, right? Having a cup that is very full from which you can drink from yourself and also extend to others or other aspects of your experience. So I feel like if you try to move through this time as your earth sign normally would, it's you're going to find it a little bit more difficult than if you tried swimming instead, or at least treading water where you are. I know that sounds a little bit funny, but I feel like things are shifting rapidly in your environment. You're going through a personal shift, a personal transformation, growth. You're realizing things. You're feeling differently about things than you did before. You're thinking about how you spend your time. Perhaps something happens where it has you reevaluating what really matters. It's like, oh no, this is really important. This is less so. Something might surprise you about how that comes out in the wash. So, with that being said, your animal energy for this time period, being the gazelle, is is beautiful because it represents Nine of Pentacles energy, which is your earth energy, right? Even though this is a fire animal, it represents Nine of Pentacles. And it's about the work that you do, that you individually have built up with and for yourself, that you are excellent at and have made your own personal legacy around. It's about standing on your own 2 feet, feeling like I absolutely got this. It's you in your prime as a Capricorn. That is gazelle energy. However, the shadow side of gazelle energy, in terms of the animal medicine outside of the tarot, speaks of fear, just unadulterated, absolute frozen in fear. It's being out on the plain and hearing a rustle in the bushes and being absolutely certain that it's a lion and that your time has come, right? That's why we associate this with that speed, right? That it's that fight, flight, or freeze. And I feel like that's what's coming up for you now during this time. However, if you can harness that energy and work with it without instead of trying to drive the car, allow yourself to be in the passenger seat of your experience in some way, shape, or form without trying to control it or define it in any given way. Just allowing it's going to allow you to move through this time more on the Nine of Pentacles side of this than the fear-based side of this, okay? Because there's a light and dark to this particular energy. Now, your Lammas Oracle here is summer games, which by the way, 36, 3 plus 6 is 9. So you've got that a repeated theme here as well, which is a, a completion number. It's the one right before the end of the cycle. When fear rears its head, no need to be wary. Lean in. You're at the edge of evolving. That just feels so perfect. When fear rears its head, no need to be wary. Lean in. You're at the edge of evolving. It's kind of reminding me of the fool from the Fool's Key jumping off the cliff. This makes a lot of sense to me with that mouse and the kingfisher energy of like letting yourself be submerged in the water, right? It is so uncomfortable, going through big shifts and changes and we're here to do the hard work of soul growth. And I feel like there is this version of you that is going, okay, it's really time to get uncomfortable so that we can grow. Right? And there's going to be some shifts and decisions that need and want to be made around this. I feel like this is what your higher self is doing. Happily jumping off the cliff into the water. This is your egoic self watching that going, you want me to what? Like, I am fully clothed. I just washed my hair. And you want me to what? You want me to jump off this cliff into the water? Are you really? Really? Your higher self knows they're going to land just fine. Your egoic self goes, there's people down there. There could be rocks. I could get hurt. So just something to think about. Okay. So it's really giving the full key energy, really, the dog there. Your Mabon Oracle, the apple of my eye, number 2. Not all that's alluring may be what it seems. See beyond the illusion. Really interesting. Not all that's alluring may be what it seems. See beyond the illusion. Remember that beak that I was really drawn to, or that pointed nose there? It's there again. I feel like there's an aspect to that says like follow your nose, not your eyes. Because by the way, mouse energy is also about how you see things, like the details, right? As an animal, they're able to get in and out of places because their attention to detail is just, they have access to a perspective that other animals don't. But I'm really feeling for you to just take off the glasses, take off the work coat for a minute. It's not the best way because the staircases are changing right now. Any big decisions that you need to make right now, or anything that you need to sign, anything like that, maybe just take a beat or two around it because the staircases you're on are currently under construction. Okay? And it's just your turn. It's just what it is. It's the collective, right? Happens to all of us at certain points. Apple is the fruit of knowledge, of wisdom. I'm also really drawn to this athame as well. I really feel like this is commenting on, your perspective is the key to your experience. Your perspective is your reality, right? So how are you going to view this time of change and transformation? Are you going to view it as an opportunity to take your hands off the steering wheel, sit in the passenger seat and kind of allow things to flow and see what happens? Or are you going to do your damnedest to make those staircases stay where they are and not shift, hanging on for dear life, right? You're going to go with the flow and go enjoy yourself on a swim, or are you going to stay stuck there on the side, right? Watching people fly over you. It's really up to you. But things are shifting and changing rapidly for you. So you are coming through as the Emperor during this time, which is fascinating, right? So this is Aries energy. And the Emperor, number 4, balance, foundation. The Emperor is very much about understanding that, there's a certain responsibility and weight of being in control and being at the seat of power, right? This is the patriarchy. This is that, divine masculine influence. But this is also about, a real emphasis on obligation and making sure that everything is sorted and as it should be. But there's also a certain rigidity here. I feel like this is in counter to what you're being advised to do. But I also feel like this is also a love letter to you as well, going, your foundation is strong. Nothing is really going to rock your tree. Not really. Not in a way that you can't recover from. Are you going to bend or are you going to break with the wind? I'm really drawn to this eclipse here as well. I feel like for you, if you can trust and tap into what you know, Ace of Cups style with that Kingfisher energy, really link into your intuition, then you're going to see the larger picture and greater wisdom of this transitional time that you're going through and be able to appreciate it for what it is as a natural cycle of life. if you are afraid, if you feel frustrated, or you feel, anything that's other than your higher self commenting on the natural flow and divine timing of all things, this is a choice that you can make to go into your inner emperor and go, you know what? Everything is as it should be all of the time. I am my choices. And no, I can't control everything, but I can choose how to respond to my shifting staircases as they were. Okay. Now, your challenge is the Two of Swords. This makes a lot of sense, right? One sword is your heart. One sword is your head. We got that eclipse here as well, that kind of like obscured illumination, restricted vision. This is sitting down in silence and stillness and giving, equal time, equal floor space, right? To your heart and to your head, bringing them together for equal conference to hear what they have to say and considering both sides equally. The fact that this is in your place of challenge says to me you're having a lot of trouble connecting with your inner wusa in some way, shape, or form, or at least slowing down long enough to go, you know what? I feel like I keep going in one direction or pushing on the same door, and it's not really working out. There's no ease in my effort, right? And I feel like this is saying, like, you can find ease in the effort by displaying the wisdom of how to move with the natural timing and flow of things. If you're having a hard time at it, if you're coming up against a lot of obstacles and challenges, assume the Two of Swords position. Sometimes you get to where you're going more quickly by pausing than you do forging ahead. Okay? Your divine team, the universe, can see a few steps ahead of where you are. So sometimes these obstacles or these challenges show up in our lives, these delays show up because they want us to get to where we're going more quickly, but with less challenge, less obstacle. And sometimes the best thing is to pull over to the side of the road and let the traffic pass before we can get back on the highway unobstructed and flying forward. And that's what it feels like it is for you during this time. And you can enjoy this time for what it is as well, because it won't always be this way, right? Just allow the staircases to shift. Sit down, have an iced tea, Your advice here is the Son of Wands, which is the Knight of Wands. So this is really interesting because, this is a fast paced, instinctual, like making instinctual moves energy. But I feel like that we're looking at this with the dandelion, which is a symbol of wish fulfillment, and the snake. This is very much a symbol of knowing when to move and when to be still, right? This is also a symbol of transformation. When the snake sheds its skin, its eyes get incredibly cloudy, its vision is obscured, and it can't see. It's very vulnerable to predators. And I feel like for you, you're being asked to sort of assume this position, stay connected to your purpose, stay connected to what you desire, stay connected to what makes you passionate, and spend your time doing that without an emphasis on how or in what time you get to where you're going. Connect to your passion, not to the timing of anything, right? Connect to the passion, not to the outcome, right? Because it feels like a lot of this is a certain resistance to change, okay? Now, your victory is the King of Pentacles. I mean, hello. You in your masculine form. This is Big Papa. This is wealth. This is benefactors. This is, feeling like you just have everything you could ever need, but just feeling like on the inside that you're wealthy, right? Emotional wealth, mental wealth. I don't think there's any, more valuable currency than that, honey, especially in this day and age. Mental wealth, right? Physical wealth, emotional wealth, spiritual wealth, just feeling wealthy all around. And I like that this is your point of victory because those antlers there, right, reflective of these antlers with the gazelle, are also a symbol of feeling connected to spirit, feeling connected to your higher self. And I feel like you're able to come out of this time. I feel like those antlers have molted and grown even bigger than before. The colors of the chakras, feeling aligned, feeling connected, feeling like you were connected to your personal wealth, regardless of the time or the way in which that happens. If you're able to walk forward in faith and truly believing that everything is working out for you all the time, whew, you cannot buy that. You cannot buy that frame of mind. Everything, this is your mantra for this time period, okay? Everything works out for me. Everything works out for me. That's it. Now, your outcome here is beautiful. It's Eight of Pentacles. So this is when hard work and talent or skill meet up with divine timing. I feel like all of this is leading you to the perfect timing for everything that is coming to you to bear fruit and come to fruition and bloom, right? It's just about the timing here. These bees are also Three of Pentacles energy. I feel like there's an aspect of partnership in your particular brand of genius and what you're here to do and what you're brilliant at that is just waiting for you on the other side of these shifting staircases. I feel like there's a lot about your circumstances that are being chess pieces being moved around by the divine, that you've got a very strong team behind you. I can feel it, that are literally putting things into place for you and removing obstructions off of the highway. Just take your signal to pull to the side of the road when it's time. Spend your time doing what, fuels your passion. And before you know it, it's going to be time to get into that Eight of Pentacles energy and do the work, right? Get going, experience that material wealth, experience that professional, glee, experience, all of the action, all of the blooms, all of the bounty, right? It's interesting. I'm really drawn to the roses and the idea of, the thorn and the rose. They come together, right? So maybe if we don't expect them to exist separately, if you want the rose, you've got to be willing to accept the thorn, right? So there's something about understanding that there's cycles and ebbs and flow to every part of the life experience. But again, if you can King of Pentacles it, right, as a state of mind, which you can, right? Everything works out for me. You just watch what that does. It will shift the way that you perceive the world. It will influence your choices. It will land you in a place, it has the potential to land you in a place where you are responding instead of reacting. This is really beautiful because I do feel like there's a danger of a certain reactivity in this for you, just out of frustration around some of the energies as they are. But trust me, this is all lining up for you. You've got Nine of Pentacles here. You've got Eight of Pentacles here. It's a literal stairway. You've got King of Pentacles here. If finances are a concern, if you're not exactly, sure of where your work is leading, or the work isn't steady, or you're not exactly sure what that's going to look like in some way, shape, or form, if your relationships feel a bit disjointed, it is all lining up for you in divine timing. Again, everything works out for me, Capricorn. Before you know it, we're going to be doing another reading about this, and it's going to be like, oh, it's all going, it's on. You got decisions to make. What are you going to do? Yeah, you got this. Remember to rest. So just take this as the season as it is. It is the growing, the building, the shifting staircase, but everything really is working out for you. Be sure to know what is your ego, what is the fear, and what is the wisdom of your higher self that knows the truth, that everything is working out for you all of the time in divine timing. Okay, Capricorn? Really stunning. With that being said, I'm wishing you a very happy Lammas-Mabon season. I so hope that this helps and resonates. If so, let me know in the comments below. I love chatting with y'all in the comment section. It's one of my favorite things to do. So give me a holler in the comments, like this video for me, subscribe, all that good stuff. And with that being said, just thank you guys so much for your support and for being here. And most of all, and as always, my beautiful Capricorns, thank you for being you, and be well. Until next time.